Hello, in today's video I'm going to look at how to make a lead magnet in my favourite app that I use, which is LeadCreator.ai. I'm going to keep it simple, but keep watching till the end because I've got some useful resources to share with you after you've seen the video. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to create a relatively straightforward lead magnet such as this one, which you see has got plenty of images in. We've got some highlights in here, there's some bullet points, there's plenty of white space, and at the end of it we've got a good call to action as well, which takes them back to my website in this particular instance. Okay, so let's jump straight in and look at creating a lead magnet. I'll go through some of these headings up here later in the video, but just now we're going to click on here. We've opened up the Lead Creator app and we're going to create a lead magnet. So the first thing it does is bring up your prompt screen. Now in this instance I'm doing one around maintaining focus, and it's the importance of focus and action combined to help you become more productive. So I'll just call it focus and action for now. To working title we can change it later. I'm going to drop it into my draft lead magnet category because that's the category I use while I'm creating lead magnets, and when I'm ready I'll drop it into the laser focus category. Okay, now we've got lots of different templates here that we can use to create lead magnets. In this particular instance I'm going to use this one down here, which gives you a question and answer style lead magnet. So we'll click on that one. Now I've already created a prompt, so I'll just go and grab that. Okay, so I've just got the prompt from my text file. We'll just paste that in, and so you see we're going to use the following text to discuss the topic and create a frequently asked questions style lead magnet. And that prompt, actually I took, this is a little bit of PLR that I've got, very short, very simple, and I've just taken the opening paragraph as a conversation piece for that. So I've dropped that into here. What good is having focus if you don't take any action? Conversely, if you take action without a focus, how do you know you're doing the right things? As you can probably surmise, focus and action go hand in hand. Now that is the piece of text that I'm asking the AI engine in LeadCreator.ai to use, and I've asked it to use a PAS framework for the introduction and an ADA framework for the conclusion. If you don't know those frameworks, I'll actually put a resource at the end of the video which explains those, because they are very useful frameworks to use in any content. Okay, I can, if I wish, choose a persona, and you'll probably recognize some of these. Neil Patel, Brian Clark, you probably recognize them. Or we can do it with no persona. I'll just choose that for this particular instance. Now in the tone, rather than it being conversation, I'm going to ask it to make it humorous, just to lighten it up a bit. We'll leave it in the second person, but you can have the first person or third person as well. So I'm just going to do that. We'll have an introduction, we'll have a conclusion. I don't have any particular words that I don't want it to use at the moment, but as you'll see when we've created the first version, we can go back and recreate within the engine. So we might come back to that. So English US, I'll use English UK because that's my native language, and I'm going to aim it at college level. These are American style educational levels, but we'll do that. Okay, so we just click on create. Now as it's creating that, it's just a a good point to remind you that it is AI, so it does need to be checked properly and make sure it's correct and reflects your language, etc., etc. As and when it creates the actual text content for you. All of these down here, we're going to look at some of these a little bit later. I won't go through all of them, otherwise we'd have an hour-long video, but I'll do the main ones like email capture and integrations for you. Okay, so it's created now the initial text for it. So if we look through here, for example, you might find some phrase that you don't particularly like in this world of digital thingies, you know, something like that. You can then use if we look at this, show the original prompt, I can use this negative words here to take those out if I want to. So I'll just cancel that for the moment. So for example, if we didn't like that, or the age-old conundrum, let's copy that, and then we show the original prompt, and I will put that in there, and then we can regenerate. Okay, there's lots we can do in this version of the editor, and one of the first things we might want to do is to just change the title here. Obviously the title of your lead magnet is very important, but I can just ask AI here, and I've got a prompt already that I've done. So I've asked it, I keep these in a text file, so I can just drop them in very easily. Suggest 3 alternative headings, and these are using the good practice of headings. So if we ask AI, it will come up with your 3 options here. Now what I didn't ask it to do is to use 10 points, but it doesn't really matter. We can change that. So let's just take that one, and we'll use that particular heading that it's suggested. We'll discount that. We'll paste it in there. We'll make that a heading 1. We'll center it. Change the color to I can set my own colors within the system, so you can use your branding colors quite easily. Okay, if we just go back to the one I showed you earlier, you can see I've changed both the heading, and I've added in a subheading, and hopefully they will attract the reader to carry on reading this particular lead magnet. And the headline and subheadlines are very important. I'll pop a link to a resource after this video that you can look at headlines as well. Okay, obviously you've got your normal editing functions here. You can bold text, italic, underline, strike it out. You can center the text, or left or right justify it. You can change the color. I just highlight a bit. We can change the color, and the good thing about LeadCreator is I can actually create my own colors, so you can put your set of branding colors in there and use those in all of your lead magnets, so that's quite neat. You can highlight the text, you can highlight the background, you can reset all of the formatting if you wish to. You can change the fonts, you can add links in, you can make them headings or bullet points, so on and so forth. So there's lots of different things you can do with the text editor. I'm not going to go through all of those, but for example, one of the good techniques in a lead magnet is to have some bullet points, and you'll see I've put some in there. All I did with that, if I just take that, if I just make it text, I just put some carriage returns behind the text, so just separating out the text, then highlight the text just like you would in any editor really, and change it from text to a bullet list, so that's quite handy to do. It breaks the space up, and it's always good to do that in a lead magnet. Just looking at a couple of the other things we can do quickly. Again, the headings, you can change the colour if you want to. I usually use my brand blue for my headings and things like that. There's lots of things you can do here, but they're fairly straightforward to do. I'll just show you some of the other actions you can take. In here, if I just put the /, I can put a horizontal rule in there, for example. If I just do that again, and I'll insert an image, so it'll take me to where my images are. I will use, I'll just put that one in for now. So it'll insert the image there. Whatever you want to do, and that's quite a relevant one anyway for the topic we're talking about. Obviously need a space in there. So as I said earlier, it is AI generated, so you do need to make sure that it makes sense. I would normally spend more time looking through this and making sure it reads okay, etc., etc. Some of the other things we can do with the command or we can add a button, and I'll show you an example of that in the other lead magnet we've got. You can insert a video if you've got one, or a Vimeo, a YouTube or Vimeo video. Text, you can obviously just start typing. You can change the headings. You can create a bullet list, as I showed you, or a numbered list. You can add HTML code. You can embed the code anywhere in the lead magnet. One of the nice options within LeadCreator is that you can add columns. So, for example, if I choose that, we can say add 3 columns into the lead magnet. And within those columns, you could colour those. You could put headings in for the next section if you've got 3 specific points you want to do. You could put some images in there. You could create some images with text in it, and do whatever you want within those columns. So that's quite a nice feature, again, to break up your lead magnet and make it look just a little bit different. Okay, let's just go back to our other lead magnet that we looked at earlier, and we can see some of the things we've done. I put images in. I've also used the Ask AI function here to put icons at the beginning and end of particular phrases. So I can bold those at the bottom. Again, just all breaks up your lead magnet. Another image there. I've used bullet points on that bit to just emphasize it. I've used a numbered list there, and if we go right down to the bottom, you can see that I have a call to action here at the end of the lead magnet. That's the whole point of a lead magnet. Now, in this particular case, I'm setting these up as a set of resources on my website. So if I look at this lead magnet here, this link, which you can create a button. This is a button. If I click on that, we can see that I can change the text of that button if I wish to, or I can change the link. And if we look at the link here, this is taking me to my website, where I have other resources that the reader can go to. So I've got a good strong call to action at the end using a button, which again was one of the options on the on here, where we can create the button. Yeah, so that just gives you the option to do that, which is really good way to put a call to action on a lead magnet. Okay, so you can see, if we look at the original prompt on the one that we created, you can see by if you think about your prompt beforehand, and you can use the different templates that we've got in there. I use the FAQ one, but there are lots of others. We can take out negative words that we don't want, and we can choose a persona if we wish to. Now there is a change coming to LeadCreator shortly, which will mean we can set our own persona, so you'll be able to have a standard persona for all of your lead magnets if you wish one. So by setting out a fairly simple set of parameters, we've created a lead magnet here. Now this is still pretty basic, but by using the editor and some of the insert functions, we can change it into quite a nice looking lead magnet. It's relatively short, it's to the point, it's nicely structured. There's plenty of white space in there, plenty of images, so it's a good lead magnet to have, and it finishes with a strong call to action. Okay, so before we publish the lead magnet, then we need to look at what we can do over this left hand side. One of the things I particularly like about LeadCreator is that it has different templates you can use to create an email capture form. The standard one there is that just with the heading and the having that in there. There's an ebook style. You can have a blur button, which is sort of a two-part approach to capturing email addresses. You can have a video. You can put a little video in front of your email capture form there, or you can have no email capture form at all. So it depends how you want to go with that. There's then the integrations, which I like as well. It's got integrations to a whole host of different autoresponders. I use Email Octopus, for example, for mine. So you can set that up. But if your email autoresponder is not there, you can use either Zapier, Pabbly, or Make to set any interface that you want. So it's very powerful in that sort of area. Okay, some of the other things you can do, you can have a social slider, so you can put a message in there and it will come up and it will show that 4 people have bought this in the last 30 minutes or whatever it might be in there. You can have an expiring URL in there to give again some more degree of urgency. You can have a scarcity maker on there, so it will you can limit the number of people who can access a particular lead magnet. We've got some other settings down here. You can set your footer links to have your privacy, for example, in there. We can set the colours for the page background, and again I tend to use some standard colours for those here, just to put those in, and do that last one and make that shadow, save those. I'll show you that in a second, so that you can see your lead magnet. So there's lots of good functionality here, and LeadCreator is developing and adding functionality all of the time, but they're pretty powerful now anyway. So if we publish this particular one now, we'll see that it's updated and we can view that, and you'll see those color settings that I made give it a nice makes the page lift off the background, and there comes the email capture form that we set as standard. So once people have had chance to just glimpse have a bit of a teaser on the email, it will come up, and then it will capture the email and integrate it through to your particular autoresponder. Okay, well, I hope you've enjoyed the video. We've seen how to create a lead magnet in LeadCreator LeadCreator.ai. As I say, my favourite tool. I use it most days to create lead magnets. If you have enjoyed it, I'd be very grateful if you could like below and share the link if you think of other people who might find the video useful. And of course, if you want to see other videos, and we're adding videos all of the time, then please subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to check out the links below, where I put a link to LeadCreator.ai, but I've also put a link to some useful resources that you might want to check out. Okay, thanks very much. See you in the next video.